The following podcast has been brought to you by Audible.com. Sign up now using the URL audibletrial.com/TTV to get a free audiobook of your choosing. We recommend Brick by Brick, How LEGO Rewrote the Rules of Innovation and Conquered the Global Toy Industry. You may recognize this as one of the sources we use in our show, Bionicle Autopsy. Remember, that's audibletrial.com/TTV. Enjoy the show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sync.
Hello, everybody. This is Ven.
This is Var.
This is Mesa.
And this is Kahi.
And welcome to TTV Talks.
I've got no clue what that order was, but it definitely wasn't the right order.
Hey, look, it worked. Nobody,
Yeah, it did.
nobody
it didn't
stumbled.
Work, though.
Oh, it's
got that-
perfectly fine. At least
got
it went
that
smoothly.
seamless
There's
flow.
no complaints.
Hey, nobody would have noticed unless you said anything, Var. So good
Well,
on
I
you.
felt like saying something, so
You go before me sometimes, and I'm like, wait, what? Then again, I guess this is TTV Talks, so normal things
Right?
don't
Yeah,
apply.
Mesa's first for the
It isn't
podcast, but
Yeah.
Var started this.
Well, even then, you're usually still first for TTV Talks if I'm not the one hosting it. So
Very
it's like,
true.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
There was kind of there was like a slight delay, so I was like, I'm Var.
Yep. But
It's always weird for me whenever it's Takuma and Viper. You know, and me Takuma and Viper, or like me Takuma and X, like for Star Wars. I always go first, and I'm
It's
not
always
used to going
weird for
first.
me when it's me and Viper because she always feels the need to talk over me when I'm introducing myself.
She always says her name the same time as you do. It's like she forgets that you are in the
It's
running.
like she forgets all about my existence.
It's hilarious whenever Viper has to do something like be the host of an episode because it's like putting a deer in the front of headlights.
Yeah, I know, right? She's like, wait,
Poor
what
Viper.
do I do?
She tries.
Yeah. She pulls through when
Nah,
it counts. But we got some
Yeah,
funny
I know.
behind the scenes bloopers of all the
I know,
expeditions.
that's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, we have to release it in Vessel.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
do.
gotta get that.
I recorded that
Gotta
whole
edit all
thing.
that.
The attempt
Oh,
at
that's
TTV Talks.
that's excellent. We
But
got so many things that are like recorded but haven't been put up yet.
I know.
Quite
We've
a
been doing
large
really well at that.
stockpile. It's kind of
Yeah.
ridiculous.
We're just hiding a lot of stuff from people.
Yeah.
It's funny because like even throughout all that, like I've still managed to delay getting the Kopaka showcase up.
did you like just delay it for a whole week? Or like, what did you do?
I've delayed it for like 2 weeks.
Why?
How could you? What are you doing?
I'll be honest, I've just been lazy.
Product showcases
Hey,
ripping
listen.
face.
It's the summer. Sometimes you need a break. You know.
Listen, I've done all 5 Toa 1 week after another. They all had decent views. That's cool.
Except
But
the
the break
hot
time.
But it's a
Right.
whole
All
week, dude. Like, what have you been
Batman-
doing
I mean,
that
come-
entire week?
what-
Just sleeping?
Arkham Knight came out. No. Well, it's partially sleeping. Arkham Knight came out though. And I've just been like,
Oh yeah, fair enough.
I basically just stopped paying attention and played Arkham Knight.
You gotta immerse
Yeah, I
yourself
don't
in the
blame you
world
because
of
that's what
Gotham.
happened to me too.
Yeah.
Dude, I no lie. Last week, you guys probably didn't see me at all because I took off work and just played Arkham Knight nonstop.
Well, hey Gus, how's it going?
Take your vacation. Well, you know, I didn't necessarily go that far, but I did play quite a lot of it. And up
That's
until last
You
night,
didn't
I
play
wasn't
enough
sure.
of it.
Up until last night, I wasn't sure how far I was gonna get before we did this. And to be fair, I didn't beat it, but I did get to the Arkham Knight identity reveal. So,
Okay, let's say, hey, spoilers.
yeah.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be
We're
tons of
gonna-
spoilers here.
Do we want to just have free reign, or do we want to segment this TTV Talk into like spoiler free and then spoiler?
Well, you know what? Some people have not played the game yet.
Oh
They
yeah,
might
let's
be
talk
interested
about
in
like
that.
the gameplay first.
But yeah,
That's
let's talk
kinda
about
like-
the gameplay and stuff.
Because
And
the
then, like,
entirety of the story is total spoilers. Like, there's nothing you can talk about regarding the story that won't spoil something.
right.
Yeah.
That's true. I would definitely say like if you haven't played the game yet, definitely don't watch this because
You
spoilers
may
are gonna pop up.
accidentally hear something. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a spoiler at every corner in this game.
But, all right.
They really
it.
start early with like the surprises too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. Okay, let's say
Yeah, so
before
like,
this.
if you want to stay completely spoiler free, just don't watch this. But if you only care about major stuff, we'll save that for a little later. So
Okay, we've addressed the audience enough.
yeah,
so-
let's do this. So the most
What were you gonna
controversial.
say? What were we gonna say, Kai?
No, I was just gonna say like we should have at the end of this gameplay segment we should just say how much how much we'd rate the game, basically, so people know what we think of the game before they buy it, or if they're interested in our opinion, and then we can go into spoilers and be like, this is
I'll give my rating right now. 12 out of 10.
Yeah, let's say.
12 out of 10. Not enough Batmobile.
Okay, so Marissa has been unexpectedly
Okay,
murdered.
I just first want to comment before we get
We
to the
can all
Batmobile,
kill him
real quick.
right now. We can do it.
Yeah, we all have a lot to say about the Batmobile. I just want to comment on the little things, like the actual combat.
It's great. Combat is wonderful.
No, I love the combat.
Combat's great.
Combat's fantastic.
But at the
Gotta
same
get
time,
that
I have
flow.
problems with the combat. I noticed that.
Yeah,
I do
same.
too.
I noticed that countering is a lot more BS this go around. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Actually,
I think I know what you're talking about, but
Where
continue. Like explain.
sometimes the counter doesn't register. Like
Okay, yeah,
yes,
yeah. That is exactly my complaint. So
Yeah.
I've noticed this after coming off of Bloodborne, which is kind of a similar difficult game where you need to know when to counter attacks and everything. It's a bit different from Arkham Knight, because in Arkham Knight they actually have an indicator when you're about to be hit. With Bloodborne, it's not there, so it's like you actually need to learn how to time blocking and stuff.
yeah,
So coming out of that game into Arkham Knight, it was kind of jarring because the game doesn't have button cancellation like Bloodborne
Yep.
does.
yeah, and it did before.
So-
I'm pretty sure because right before I played Arkham Knight, I binged Arkham Asylum because I had actually never fully completed the story before. So I went into that, I played through Arkham Asylum, then I played through Arkham Knight, and that was like one of the things I started to notice, especially further on in the game when they started introducing all these different enemy archetypes.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's like I'm pretty sure the other games had button cancellation. I don't remember ever having an
think
issue
so.
with it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
But it's just like, to explain what this means, is like if you do like a combo, for example, you're hitting some guy and you click the square button. I'm just going to use the PS4 controller because that's what I played it on. You click the square button 3 times to punch a guy. As Batman is throwing his second punch, you see another guy come at you, and you have to block him. So you click the block button. But instead of Batman canceling his attack and blocking the guy when you hit the block button, he will continue on with the third attack that you put.
Yep.
So, despite hitting the cancel button, or despite hitting the block button, instead of blocking, you still get hit.
Right.
And it can be really frustrating when there's a lot of enemies around.
And sometimes, this is something I noticed, sometimes they'll do a thing where they have 2 people come at you, and Batman will do like a special move where he takes 2 people and like smash them together, or he'll do like a special move.
yeah.
Sometimes it will happen, and Batman will only block one person, and the other guy will hit
And
you,
then the
you're
other
like,
guy just continues to hit you in the
Right,
back
it's
of the
like,
head or something, and it's
why?
really
Why
frustrating.
would you do this? It messes up your combo. Yeah.
It's
Are
the
you making
worst.
sure to tap it twice?
No, you don't tap it twice whenever it's for
Yeah,
those.
it's you just tap it.
You tap it once.
as if it was just one guy coming at you, and then he's supposed to take him out like at once.
Is
I'm
that
not
is
sure
that
if
what
that's
you do?
right.
Yeah, like if that
I'm not sure that's right.
that may work, but every time there's always been a double combo, I always double tap. So I
Yeah, I
know.
always double tap too.
I've-
I'm pretty sure it told me to double tap.
I know,
We'll
because
test
there's
this
there's times too where there's 3 people, and I'll only hit it once, and Batman will take out all the 3 people. Like 3 of them will have the indicators up.
I
Or
think
only hit
another
it
thing
once.
is, like I mentioned earlier, the different enemy archetypes that they start introducing in the game. Like, okay, I'm gonna name one right off the bat that really ticks me off, and it's that guy that dresses in white who goes around
Oh my
reviving
God.
enemies,
The medic.
Oh, the
and
medic.
then he
Hate
like
the medic.
charges them up with an electrical shield thing.
That is so annoying. First of all, the electrical people at all,
Yeah,
they're
they're
just
terrible.
absolutely frustrating because for whatever reason, Batman decides to not shoot them with a disruptor whenever I tell him to. Instead, he'll freaking shoot off into the distance at no one for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, why are you shooting that way? Why don't you just auto-lock in the guy?
And also, like, if you can play the game up to a certain point and not know how to get the electric charge. The electric...
That is true.
Because
Yeah,
it's in... For some reason, I don't know why you did this time. There are certain weapons, or not weapons, there's certain, like, bat tools you can get, and they're just there somewhere. Like, the freeze tool
Yeah,
is
you
just
have to
in the
find
bat
them.
cave. And there's no indicator, there's nothing. It's just there. And the same thing with, the
Average
electric tool.
Joe
It's
would
in
never know to find it till the
DCPD.
game's over.
Exactly. Now, yeah, you don't actually... You get, like 80% and 70% of the tools from the campaign alone. You actually have to go out and find the rest of them. Which
Oh
I
wow!
find
I was wondering what happened
very
to the freeze tool.
Yeah, it's there. It's in Panessa Studios. It's just sitting on like a little table. It's so easy to miss. I had literally walked past it like 10 times before I finally found it.
I wouldn't even know it was in the game if it wasn't for the Steam events.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, see, the only reason I knew about it was because I went out looking for Riddler trophies. Oh, I guess we should say like how far in completion we got through the game as well.
I did everything except the militia and Riddler trophies. Everything else I got done.
Let's see. I'm about 50-something% of the way from completing the entire game, but I beat the main story, but I have a lot of side missions to do still.
I'm like roughly same as Vin, except I didn't actually beat the main story, but I got to the Arkham Knight confrontation and I've seen the rest on YouTube. Because I spoiled the entire game for myself.
You were so
You're the worst kind of person.
You're determined. You spoiled the game beforehand. You're like, guys, you want to know who the Arkham Knight is? And we're like, dude, the game comes out in like 5 days. I swear, don't spoil anything.
Yeah.
You wanted me to tell you stuff anyway.
I have completed the game full completion. I did 100% everything.
Sweet.
Found all the Riddler trophies and the side quest and did.
I'm not excited. I'm not particularly excited to do all the tank missions.
Oh, those
I
are
totally
the worst part.
am.
Okay, I love the Batmobile in this game, right? I love the way it handles when I'm driving around the city. I love the way it sounds when I'm like summoning it, like the Batman that I am. But
I love how you can just summon it anywhere you are.
Holy crap! I cannot stand. Okay, no. There was a point where I tolerated it. All the tank battles that they brought into the game where you have to fight all the tank drones. I thought that was fun at first. I really liked it. But then it gets tedious because as you
there's a
progress
point
through
in
the
the game
where it keeps
gets
getting
there.
worse.
Yeah, it's more frequent too. I think it was like the later half of the game, like 60% or something, where suddenly all the tank stuff just got to a ridiculous amount of frequency and difficulty, and it got really annoying, and it felt really shoehorned whenever you did anything. It's like whenever you had to progress the story, you always had to have the Batmobile with you. There was always some kind of tank confrontation. And it was one thing when I had to solve like riddles or like solve how to get out of a situation with the Batmobile. That made sense because it was like using another one of your bat tools.
Right.
Yeah, and that's how they kind of
segments-
introduced it too.
Yeah, but it was like the segments where you're forced into these stupid tank combat zones.
Right.
That are really frustrating.
You have to do the bomb, you have to disarm the bomb, or you have to
And it's like they took out normal boss fights for like actual enemies and replaced it with like palette swapped tank battles.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, like, my opinions on Batmobile are controversial, but there's one thing that I cannot dispute, and it's that the effect the tanks have on the game is really weird. Like, it doesn't even feel like a Batman game at times.
Right.
It feels like the main dude, the Arkham Knight, is only in the game to give the Batman an endless supply of tanks to fight. And the tanks are only in the game because he has the Batmobile. If he didn't have the Batmobile, this game would not have tanks.
No, see,
So
the
it feels
Batmobile
really bizarre.
isn't really. I mean, you don't need to have a tank Batmobile.
That's the thing. They added the tanks specifically just to like add justification for bringing the Batmobile into the game, but they didn't need it.
Right.
The Batmobile is useful.
The Batmobile is just fine. I love the Batmobile in terms of just being on the city. But putting me in Batmobile-specific positions, that's what I hate. Like, that's where I feel
especially
the
when
weakest
it
part
like
of the
kind
game
of
is.
stagnates the progress that you're in. It's, I have a feeling it was like Warner Brothers or something. They were like, guys, we really want you to do the Batmobile, but we need
tanks.
a reason for the Batmobile.
More tanks.
Yeah, we need tanks.
Needs to be like Christian Bale.
It's also funny how, like, they're conveniently unmanned. So they're, like,
I know, so
easily
Batman can-
tricked.
Okay.
Okay, listen. Let's get this out of the way, okay?
Can we talk about how like Batman's like literally murdered 50
actually has a
people?
superpower. Batman does have a superpower, and it's not killing people. His superpower is that he
the ability
cannot
to do
kill
whatever he
people.
wants to a person without somehow killing them.
I do not buy for a second that in Batman's years of crime fighting, he has not accidentally killed someone with collateral damage.
Listen,
Or
I know, I have slammed into so many random mooks while driving the Batmobile, like, slammed them into walls
But
and
Var, it's
completely
okay.
trashed
You
them.
gave them like a little electric discharge. They'll be fine.
No!
I know,
They're
like,
dead!
there's a
They're
thing
dead!
where
They're
a car's
absolutely
coming
dead!
at you.
There's no way anyone survived me shooting the Intimidator at their car, and it flipped in the air 5 times and exploded. They're dead! They're dead!
There's no way you took a guy and threw him up in the air and had a cannon out of your tank shoot him. And he's just unconscious.
It's pretty weird. There's one thing I have to say about Arkham Knight, more so than the other games in the series. It's difficult to keep my suspension of disbelief in check. That's probably my major flaw with the game. There's too many implausible things happening that just feel weird and out of place. It affects my immersion.
Let's not like pretend that like Batman throws knives at people in the shape of bats. Like he's always been able to do that. So
it's just never been to this degree.
But he's never been able to
all
run
it
a
does
tank
is like
into
knock
somebody.
them out.
But
So it
listen,
doesn't like
they're-
cut them or nothing.
Yeah, it's like it gets to a ridiculous amount though, where towards the end of the game, instead of like the Arkham Knight being like, okay, maybe we should be a bit more tactical with our tanks, he's just like, let's just throw more billions at him. Okay, keep going, throw more.
Hey, it kind of
more.
works.
Where did he get the money?
Well,
Okay,
I
this
think
is
it has
plot
more of
thing.
a
This is the plot
psychological impact, man, because I felt like I was going nuts after every wave of tanks.
I know, right? It's like, what? How many of these are there? Where are you even building these?
The freaking Cobra tanks. I feel like I could just.
I actually
My
don't
God.
mind the
Cobra
Cobra
sections are
tanks.
annoying.
It's the ones that...
To answer your, sorry, Ben.
oh,
Go
it's
ahead.
no problem. It's the one that shoot... the ones that shoot those homing missiles at you that bug me.
Okay, yeah, I hate those too.
Those are really obnoxious.
The Cobra tanks for me aren't that bad until it's like the final, not the final battle, but the battle when you confront the Arkham Knight, and there's like maybe 9 of them all parading around. And you have to, like,
and then every time you destroy one, all the others like come after you.
right.
is that what
It's
you
worth-
guys were referring to?
Because it's a one-hit kill thing. You have to like. I must have died probably about a
Well,
dozen
did you
times.
upgrade the Batmobile?
I did
It's
not.
not a one-hit kill for me.
I did not.
That's
I got through the entire game only upgrading my combat for Batman.
Holy crap, dude!
So-
You're playing on hardcore
Yeah, I did
mode.
that. I did
basically.
that
No,
too.
I think I also
I
did
only
it on hard,
upgraded
too.
the armor twice. It was like level 1, level
Why?
2. Because I was doing the other stuff. I did
You have to upgrade.
It's-
No, I
Okay,
don't.
well,
I really
supposed
don't.
you don't. You're right.
I
but you're supposed
honestly
to.
forgot I could upgrade the
Okay,
Batmobile.
You just made the game so much harder for yourself.
I gotta say, like, I'm just a weirdo, I guess. But the section where you're facing the Arkham Knight's tank and there's like all the Cobra tanks was probably my favorite sequence of the game.
Okay, Messa, go kill yourself.
I fully admit it's a weird opinion,
Oh,
but
my.
that fight with like the Cloudburst tank
How do
was
you
like
have-
pulse
how do you
pounding.
hate
That was great.
Everything that's good in the world.
I actually thought that was kind of fun, too. Maybe because I actually upgraded my
And,
Batmobile.
and I was like bursting out
didn't like
laughing with the fight too, because Scarecrow was like, "Pull back! He's gonna destroy you!" And you're like, "No, it ends here." I got him. But
I mean, it's just I don't know, dude. That was just real. I mean, I would have just preferred a normal boss fight.
With the Arkham Knight, yeah.
I don't.
definitely.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't,
that's
that
surprising.
was just
There's not really
dumb.
any boss fight. in this
Okay,
game.
yeah.
And
Kind
it's like
of a
that. And that segment wasn't even that. Like it was okay, I guess, if that was like the first confrontation, and then like there was a better boss fight later. But the second time you confront the Arkham Knight, it's just like
We're getting into plot
let's
time.
just-
We're getting into plot details. So let's
let's just
finish
sneak
up the
up on
gameplay
them.
stuff.
Alright,
and then,
yeah.
like, we
I
just-
will say,
Again,
talk
plot
about
details.
on the note
Let's
of
start
boss
from the
fights,
bottom.
I wish as much fun as I have with the tank battles, they are no substitute for traditional boss fights. They should not have taken the place of that.
yeah. Well, I mean, like the Deathstroke boss fight is literally a palette swap of the Arkham Knight.
See,
boss
that's a
fight.
spoiler, Var.
the-
That's a spoiler. Alright.
Okay, fine. Spoilers.
Let's table.
Oh, we said there was gonna be spoilers.
I
in
know.
it.
I'm saying we should just table this, table the plots because this.
That's not plot. That's gameplay. They
Yeah.
replaced all boss fights. This boss fight from a side mission
Sure.
is exactly the same
Sure,
as the boss
okay.
fight from the main mission, and it's not a boss fight. It's the same tank battle. That's a gameplay mechanic. That's stupid.
You're 100% correct. I think like I thought it was cool when Deathstroke was revealed to be in the game, so I'm like, yeah, all right, okay, sure.
No, I don't know. I love the tank battles.
I
went through the whole game and I was like,
are the greatest.
I was waiting for the point where they would get irritating and it never came. I don't know if it's just because
Is
I'm
it
a
like
strange
reverse
person.
hype for you?
Probably.
It's like
it's probably
you're
all
like,
the brain.
Oh man, this is so terrible, and you're like, oh, this isn't so bad.
Yeah, it's probably that. That probably
I guess I kind of
explains it a
understand
lot.
that.
But I had a bunch of fun. They
I
were
guess,
probably
yeah.
they were probably my favorite part of the whole game. Just ducking.
Okay,
and
I don't
weaving
understand
in
that.
between
You're
the
weird.
tanks.
Yeah, I honestly don't understand.
Right.
I don't know. I can't explain it.
More than like sneaking up on people with the multi-fear takedowns, which I feel
multi-fear
are some of the
takedowns are
best
good
parts of the
stuff.
game.
I don't know.
Okay,
about
I
that.
love the multi-fear takedowns.
Multi-fear. They did a lot of great stuff for this game. Like we spent a lot of time criticizing like some of the stupid design choices, but some of the other ones were really great.
It is
See,
a
that's
wonderful.
the thing about the game, and I think I'm not sure if I should like go ahead and talk about it now or anything, but it's
Go
like my
for it.
opinion of the game compared to past Arkham games. It's just like this game does so many things right, like spectacularly good,
Right.
compared to Arkham City. And I
Especially
mentioned this
the graphics.
Outside, yeah, especially graphics. I mentioned this outside of the recording when we were just discussing it and having fun playing it. It's like I enjoyed Arkham City a lot, but at no point did was I ever blown away by Arkham City. It was always
Yep.
a fun ride from the beginning to end. I knew where I was going to end up. Like the story did take some pretty cool turns, but overall the game was just cool. It wasn't like, oh man, this is my top game. Holy crap! It was just, this is a good game. But Arkham Knight does this thing where there are sections of the game that I'm just like blown away by. I'm just like, this is amazing, or this is so much fun, and I'm enjoying it so much. But then Arkham Knight does things like the Batmobile sections, the Arkham Knight's actual identity, and other things that are just like, what is happening? Why would you do this? I hate this. Why? So it's like, it kind of takes this game that could have been a 10 out of 10 game and just, it reduces it to like a 7 out of 10 game for me, which is kind of disappointing. So
Right.
it's like some parts I really love, but it's like overall, Arkham City's the better game because it's the more consistent game.
I'd also argue
So-
that Arkham City had a better story.
I would actually agree.
Yeah, like
I would
I'll be
say
honest,
so.
the story was like
I
didn't really
don't agree.
I didn't really see the great story in Arkham City, and I expected Arkham Knight was going to be a lot better, but there's not a lot. I guess we'll get into the plot spoilers right now. Good segue.
Okay, yeah, sure.
This-
Real quick, rating of the game. Var, you said basically 7 out of 10. I would say 8 out of 10. Ven?
I'll say, well, since I've been playing on PC,
1 out of 10.
One
Garbage
of-
tier.
No, I'll be more lenient. I'll probably give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. I'll give it an 8.5 as well, actually. I enjoyed it, but the implausibilities broke my immersion,
Okay,
and there were a couple annoying
I might
gameplay
actually
things.
cave into that 8.5. That sounds like a good, decent rating for me. I'll
Yep.
change mine.
Arkham City's in
8.5.
my top 5 games of all time, and this kind of ties with it, roughly. I like them for different reasons.
Alright.
An 8 out of 10 game ties with your top game.
I haven't played a lot of games.
You don't do a lot of anything.
It looks like an 8
Like,
out of 10
seriously,
girl.
for me, like, the
constantly
games
says,
that
"Oh,
I
dated a lot of
personally
girls."
enjoy the most aren't really the best games ever.
You're kind of like Batman, except without the Batman, where you do nothing during the day, and unlike Batman, you do nothing during the night
Nothing
either.
During the night.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's just whatever.
You suck.
So,
Now,
from this
Alright.
point on, major spoilers, turn back, stupid car.
So,
It's the Batmobile.
It's the Batmobile, I was gonna say. I thought you were actually talking about the Batmobile for a second.
One thing I will say before we go in the plot is that we briefly mentioned the multi-fear takedowns, but man, the multi-fear
Oh
takedowns
my
are
god,
freaking
they
cool.
are
They
so
are-
Then, like,
cool.
They're very
The game
satisfying.
The game does this thing sometimes where if you get caught, there's like a brief slow-mo portion of the game where like you can like choose to drop a smoke bomb or throw a batarang or something to get out of that situation. But one thing I've noticed is that it can happen in the middle of multi-takedowns.
Right.
So it can do this really cool combination of just Batman doing these awesome maneuvers while there's also like a cool slow-mo add effect to it, which is just awesome.
I know, like, he does all this awesome stuff, and then you do the smoke bomb, and he just disappears, and everyone's like, where did he go? And you're like, yes, I'm Batman.
I'm gonna post
So
a link
great.
to exactly
this game
what
really
I mean
makes
in
all
the chat.
all the little situations so cinematic.
It really
Like,
does.
the audience can't see this, but look at this! Look at this GIF here.
All right.
This is amazing.
Let me
This is
let me
pretty
look this
great.
up.
The game just it's beautiful. It does some really cool things, and it looks really cool while doing it.
And the combat, especially, like, the combat animations are so cool.
If your goal was make the Batman simulator, then 10 out of 10.
Right.
Good job. You feel powerful, you feel like the Batman doing stuff.
I feel like that
doing
contradicts
crazy
what we were
moves.
saying earlier about how it's implausible that he wasn't killing anyone, though.
I mean, that's Batman.
Yeah, like,
That's
you
his
have to
thing.
take some suspension of disbelief when it comes to, like, Batman's never killed anybody in his entire career. Come on.
Yeah.
He haven't, like, punched someone so hard and they fell off a building. Like, that's never happened. Come on.
Right.
See-
He had to have killed
He had
someone
to
by
have killed
accident.
someone by accident.
Yep.
But, even
Speaking
still.
of
Okay.
killing,
Yeah, let's talk
yes.
about plot spoilers.
So,
Let's just go ahead and face the elephant in the room.
Okay. Batman
Arkham
Arkham under the Red Hood.
Under the Red Hood.
Under
yeah.
the Red Hood. That's what this should have been called. They said we're
because
doing
then they wouldn't
Batman.
have had mystery.
No, if they had said we're doing Batman under the Red Hood, I would have been so on board of this game. Even more than I was. Because I was pretty hyped for Arkham Knight. But, I mean, doing a classic Batman story is the best way to end, like, you know, the epitome of, you know, these Batman games. Is to do like this, you know. And
this was an interesting way to retell it.
they ruined it by trying to make it a new character, I feel. And not because they made it the Arkham Knight, but because they went to such lengths to say, oh, the Arkham Knight is a new character created for this game. And I was like,
It was all a lie.
Come on, you can't.
They were
it has to be something.
frauds.
If you're still watching this and you don't care about spoilers, it's Jason Todd.
Yeah, it's Robin.
Jason Todd.
And I knew it, like, you know who it is halfway through the game because they take such great lengths to explain what happened to Jason Todd.
It's pretty hilarious how blatant it is.
Yeah, and
I gotta
as soon as I
say.
saw that, I'm like, alright, there's no way they would just explain
Yep.
Jason Todd for no reason.
I remember starting the game and telling myself, man, I really hope it's not one of the Robins.
That'd be really
yeah,
contrived.
I was there for
I
that
was like-
discussion. I was like, you know, I really
when
hope
the Arkham
like
Knight-
it's not Jason Todd or anything. And
when it was
that's what
first revealed, that's what I thought. I thought it's Jason Todd, isn't it? And they're like,
that's
no, it's a
honestly
new
what
character.
kept
I'm like,
me
"That's so
from
weird."
believing it was. I tried to stay unconvinced for like
Nice.
the first half of the game. Like I was still
Right.
trying to guess who it was, and then you know I put two and two together after Var did. He said he figured it out for himself. So I was like, okay, let me think about it. Oh no! Don't
Right.
tell
Can't
me.
it's like you knew it, but you were trying to like just
Yeah, it's
find
easy for
hoping that the
Batman
game
fans
would
to
do,
figure
like-
it out.
Like, imagine if, like, the Arkham Knight was like, it's Talia. You know, and you're like, oh my god, it's Jason.
I wanted the Arkham Knight to be Joker.
I wanted it to be.
You're stupid.
And I got my wish. There was a point where he
Shut
pulled
up.
back the helmet and it was Joker, but it was a hallucination.
I wanted it to
See,
be
that's
Damian
a-
Wayne, man. Like, you know, Bruce Wayne's son.
Yeah,
with
that would make
Talia.
sense actually.
Like, he comes back after him for
Oh,
revenge.
dude, Damian Wayne, that would have been cool. Of course,
Like,
you know,
like a
like-
teenage Damian Wayne.
imagine, like, the
it's-
Arkham Knight is actually, like, a giant robot. A man, like, defeats him, and then it turns out it's just this kid controlling him, you know, then he fights his son. That would be awesome. I would like
that would
that.
explain why he couldn't figure out anything or find out anything about the Arkham Knight, like, whatsoever.
Because it's, yeah.
It also would have made sense as to why he was so like emotional and like childish about everything.
Right.
Man, Arkham Knight was so lame.
He was kind of
such a
lame.
Okay, and here's the thing. They never, in Batman Under the Red Hood, which is the actual Batman comic book, you know, story, that Jason Todd comes back in, he's revived by Ra's al Ghul and Talia. He just
He
dies.
just randomly pops up.
And then he just comes back. Like,
The implication was that the Joker didn't actually kill him. He just made it look that way. To
Yeah,
show
that's
Batman.
stupid.
that's stupid.
That's stupid.
Why is that stupid? That's the Joker thing to do.
Because in this instance, Jason Todd is right.
Yeah.
Batman abandoned
He
him.
literally
That's what he
after a month,
did.
he just gets a new partner. He doesn't,
It's
like,
yeah. he literally just abandoned him. In the comics, it's different because he actually is dead.
Yeah, he
Right.
actually finds Jason Todd dead.
Yeah, he finds his
finds
body
his
and
body,
he buries
and
him.
it dramatically affects how he runs as Batman for the entirety of his career afterwards.
But then again,
Here,
didn't Batman
he had no
mention?
confirmation.
Didn't Batman mention in the game that he saw Joker kill him like through a recording or something?
Yeah, Joker sent him the footage of him
yeah,
shooting
no,
him in
yeah,
the face.
you saw the recording.
Right.
He just kind of fires a gun.
Right, but like
And
he
he's on
should
the
have.
ground.
I mean, Batman could have been like, well, Joker might have been bluffing.
But I mean, like,
Right.
it's like Batman, even if he did kill him, it's like Batman didn't even find the body. He didn't even go
Yeah,
out of his
that's
way
true.
to find
Right.
He should
Jason
have gone
Todd's
buried. He
body
should have at least
and put him
found
to
the
rest.
body.
Yeah, it's just like you saw Joker shoot him and then you just left him there. You left his body with Joker. What the heck, dude? You're Batman.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird.
And also, his
weird
motivation is so
explanation for it.
like so childish in this one too. Like going against Batman. And I mean, again, going back to the comics, Jason Todd is mad not at Batman for not saving him.
He's mad at
when
Joker.
He died. He's not
No,
even
no,
mad at
no,
Joker. He's mad
no.
that Batman lets Joker live after Joker
Yeah.
kills him.
And
He's
that's
mad because Batman doesn't avenge his death.
Right. And he's like, hey,
And
I
that-
thought this would be it. This would be like, all right, Joker, you've killed all these people
Right.
before, but my partner was the straw. You can't do this anymore.
It's like if there was ever a moment that should have made Batman break, his arch nemesis killing the one person that he was able to confide in and trust to have
Well,
with
two
him throughout
people.
his entire career should be the breaking point.
Jason Todd is
And
the second
that
one,
is
so
an
it's two people.
excellent motivation for why the Red Hood is mad at Batman.
Right, exactly.
Here, though, it's stupid.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
It's like they wanted to do Red Hood, but they
couldn't
didn't commit to it.
Yeah.
They wanted- they
No,
wanted
no,
to
no.
do Red
Here's what
Hood
happened. They want to do Under the Red Hood, but they're like, Arkham Under the Red Hood is too long. So
And
we'll
what
just
would it have to
just
do with
Arkham
figure out a way to
Hood
to
shorten
keep
it.
that brand then?
Could
It's
have called it Arkham
trilogy,
Hood, man.
so
Well,
it has
see, okay.
to do with
Then it would have
Arkham.
sounded
Listen,
like a
they could've
gangster
just-
Batman game.
They could have just called it Arkham Knight, but not with a K.
That's
Arkham
true.
Hood.
They could have
They just
done
called
it.
it
They
the
could have
Arkham
totally
Knight.
done it.
It was literally a night of Batman trying to bring justice to all of his enemies that had broken away from the asylum and were at the city.
Here's the thing,
It's
too.
Arkham Knight.
When I-
the final night of Batman's career, the Arkham Knight.
Additionally,
Huh.
whenever I talk to my
Yeah.
friends about it, like I told my friends, they weren't all too concerned about spoilers, and they saw me play the final mission. And when I said, "Oh, okay, it's Robin," people were like, "Oh, I thought Batman was the Arkham Knight." Like that was like everyone just kind of assumed, or not everyone, but like my friends just kind of assumed from the title that it was just referring to Batman.
Yeah, I was talking to the others about that before. It's a dual title that can kind of apply to both characters.
Right.
Yeah, I honestly
Kinda
thought
like the
it was
Winter
just
Soldier.
describing Batman until they
Right.
revealed, oh no, the Arkham Knight's actually a character in the game. Like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's kind of like how
that's
Winter
weird.
Soldier referred to Bucky, but it could also refer to Captain America. It's like a dual purpose thing.
No, that doesn't make any sense at all because the Winter Soldier is literally his name.
Well, so is the Arkham Knight, guy.
Alright, no, fair enough, fair enough. But, like,
But the
Winter
Arkham
Soldier,
Knight doesn't-
unlike Arkham Knight, is an
So much
actual
anger.
phrase.
You guys are all like Jason Todd. You're all so angry at each other.
Abandon me.
This ends now.
like that, Batman?
I didn't do anything.
I
You're
will make him
abandoning me.
suffer. I won't make him suffer. I'm going to make him dead.
You just see him in all of your death screens. Like he just comes at you. He's like gloating. Oh, that's right. You're
Yeah, I
dead
know,
now.
right?
You're old. You're old, Batman. You
Yeah,
suck.
he's like, yeah, what are you doing now, old man?
He's he's actually really hilarious. His incompetence.
It's hilarious
He's
how
so
immature he is, but at the
incompetent.
same time, it's kind of annoying.
It really
But
is.
see, it is interesting that you bring up the title of the game, though, because I don't understand why they named it Arkham Knight. He barely even feels like a part of the actual story. Like, he's
Right.
there to justify tanks.
That's
Right.
it.
Otherwise-
That's literally it.
Yeah, but otherwise, he has absolutely no part of anything. It's all Scarecrow.
Okay, and
Who, by
let's
the
talk
way-
about how disappointing Scarecrow is.
Okay, like
Can we talk
Scarecrow,
about that?
I
he made
like his
different
design.
reasons.
No, no,
His role in the
his
story,
new
though, is
design.
just kind of.
We have different reasons for disliking him, I feel, because you've actually played Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, Van,
My
you
reason
played
is
that.
because he feels like... The best way I can describe him, he feels like the Didact in Halo 4. He feels like that kind of villain. He shows up, you face him once or twice, 3 times, but most of the game you just hear him taunting you. and that's his role as a villain.
Yeah.
He just broadcasts his trollish audio, and he goes on long, repetitive rants about how Gotham is the city of fear, and fear makes you afraid,
And he does the whole thing
fear
with
makes you
Cloudburst
scared.
Man,
And
I mean, Poison
scariness
Ivy.
makes you, yeah.
To be fair, that's kind of how all the villains were. Though,
Yeah,
for
no.
the
You're
Arkham
right.
games.
The Arkham games, they always communicate over
Yeah,
radio
in
to
Arkham
you.
City it was Hugo Strange,
It was
Hugo
strange.
Strange.
and
Arkham
then
Asylum
our
was
Asylum
Joker.
it was Joker. But at least
feel
he
it's
fights
worse.
Joker at the end.
Scarecrow.
I think that's the big deal, is that Scarecrow was so good, I feel, in Arkham Asylum. I loved like the kind of like weird dream-esque
Yeah, I really like
things that happened.
what he had to add to Asylum.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that is the they definitely didn't go the route, like, they didn't do enough of the actual fear toxin stuff. Like, there was always the threat that it would happen, but they never actually did anything.
Right.
Like,
And you know what's
there was
funny?
one event at the start of the game, and past that, there were no other examples of what it was actually like. And sure, Vin, what?
Bar.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic because in the first game it was Joker that was like the main villain, and then Scarecrow was doing all like this crazy dream sequences with Batman. And then in this game you have Scarecrow being the big boss, the head of everything, and you face him at the very end. And then it's Joker, that's
Right.
doing all the psychological stuff with Batman.
Showing him Jason Todd, showing him all that stuff.
Which,
yeah.
by the way, that final sequence with Joker, bravo. I got round of applause. That was wonderful.
Wait, really?
Just
Oh,
going
you-
around with
you-
the
you-
shotgun.
Oh yeah,
you
dude,
like
that
like
part
that?
was
First-person
funny.
Joker?
I liked that. I thought
I
that was a
really like that
fitting
sequence.
end, exploring
Yeah,
the
no.
psyche.
Like,
No, I liked it too.
you liked it? I didn't. Okay, here's the thing. I didn't like it, not because... I would have liked it if there was a never Scarecrow thing beyond that. I didn't like that my final confrontation with Scarecrow was like an FPS Stanley Parable. Like a discount FPS map, basically.
That
where
is
you
true,
Go around,
yeah.
I mean, if you go around and you shoot statues of Batman, and the part where Joker's leading up to,
It was the ultimate battle. It was like seeing Joker going insane.
Right.
I gotta say, I really did not want Joker to come back in this game. But the way
I
that
didn't
they
either.
brought him back, the way that they
Right.
made him like a part of Batman's psyche,
Genius.
and
It
the
was
way
ex-
they
it was
integrated that
excellent.
into the story, that
All of his
that was good.
quips, all of his one-liners.
I mean, there's also a thing where he's like, where there's no cure, and he's like, oh, so you mean that you could have had Robin looking out for Batgirl this entire time? And I'm like, oh crap, yeah. Joker. Not pulling any punches, are you?
I know, right? Well, see, the thing with Joker is that he's basically Batman's dark thoughts, like
Right.
all the things that are in the back of his mind that he's just not.
yeah, he's like the
vocalizing,
complete
so.
opposite of Batman, and it really shows once he's actually in
it's like-
Batman's head.
Yeah, I really loved it. I thought it was handled excellently. It was a great way of delivering both exposition and comedic relief.
Right.
And it definitely broke the tension and helped keep the game entertaining during its slower moments.
Yeah,
sequence
and
where
that's
he
another
sings-
thing. The
sings
story
the song.
gets intense, man.
It does
It
have
is
its
definitely
intense
one of the darker
moments.
ones.
Definitely.
Like seeing Barbara shoot herself.
Okay, that was insane. I
my
was like, oh
gosh.
my god, did that just
That
happen?
was.
I wish they'd kept that as actually being true and that she wasn't alive.
I kind of do, but at the same time, I was a little bit relieved to see her
Yeah, I
alive.
was glad she was brought
Yeah.
back. But with that said, I do wish that I felt like there should have been a bit more focus on her death, though, because it's like with Jason Todd, you can tell, like, if you listen to the dialogue between Batman and Barbara and Tim, it's just like Batman is clearly upset by Jason Todd's death, and it's been a lasting effect over the career and how he treats the other Robins and Nightwing and Barbara.
Yeah.
But it's like he sees Barbara literally kill herself in front of him, and then Alfred's like, "Oh no,
Well, I mean, I honestly...
what are we going to do, Mr. Wayne?" And then Batman's just like, "I don't know, Alfred. Now I need to
Oh
get
no,
back to my side
we
missions.
just gotta set this off to the
save
side right
Catwoman.
now. We got
Gotta get
bigger
those
things
Riddler
to do.
trophies.
I will say, I felt that was Batman's
Gotta make out with
subconscious.
Catwoman.
That was Batman's subconscious telling it wasn't real. That's why it didn't register with him all too much.
Fair enough.
But, I mean...
I guess that's true. But
To be fair though, I feel like one thing I kind of disliked. Why is Tim and Barbara? Why are they a thing? It's always been Dick and Barbara. Always. It's like from the beginning. It was like before he was Robin and that Nightwing, and it starts with Nick and Barbara, and then suddenly it's like Tim and Barbara are like the thing now, and then Commissioner Gordon has like the picture of the like the. Okay, sure, okay, their romantic thing. That was one of the weird things.
I didn't like Tim in this game.
I didn't like Tim at all. Well, okay.
But he was cool. He had some cool moments.
Here's the big deal.
I feel like Tim was underutilized.
I don't like the skinhead Batman and Robin look that he has. I'm not digging it. It doesn't seem like something Tim would look like.
I like it.
Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, no, I completely get you. I mean, because Nightwing is basically the Robin, and then you get to
they were trying to like change the way he would look, I guess, so he didn't like he wasn't too confused with all the other Robins.
Right.
But I don't know. It just doesn't. He looks weird.
Now,
I don't like the suit either. I felt it looked fine in Arkham City. This one, it just looks too dumb. The red is too bright. It's completely impractical, and it looks like they're trying to go for Schumacher Batman movies.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I didn't like Robin too much. I really like Nightwing. I thought Nightwing was great.
Nightwing's got a
dual
pretty good
play
design.
in this movie. We didn't talk about this in the gameplay stuff, but dual play is one of the greatest new.
I wish that was in the game more.
I wish. Why don't they have that into the Batmobile? I would have loved doing dual play. Like, all these enemies doing, imagine if you could switch from person to person to person. Like, you have Catwoman and Nightwing and Robin and Batman all fighting against hordes of enemies sent by the Arkham Knight instead of the Batmobile sections.
Yeah. With all that said, in the dual play that you mentioned, I wish, and this is a broader complaint as well, I wish that, the actual characters, like Nightwing and Barbara and Robin and even Red Hood, they all interacted a bit more with each other,
right.
Not just with Batman.
Right.
And on that same thought, I wish the villains of the game interacted with each other a bit more as well.
I was hoping they were all going to have a team up and go after Batman.
Two-Face at all, unless you do their
They're
side
all in
missions.
their own little worlds, yeah.
Yeah,
and Two-Face shows up halfway through the game, and you can do all of his missions right there. And I did them all right there, and he never showed up again because he's in jail. Yeah. It's like, come on.
There is one part where they interact. And that's if you go to jail and you sit around, you can hear them interact with each other, and that's fantastic. They have some great dialogue.
But it's like that should be a part of the story.
Yeah, I wish that was part of the story because it was kind of like that in Arkham City. It was definitely like that.
Arkham City was the best of that.
Here's the thing. It's like, we've got Arkham Knight here, and I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to do this, the final night of Batman. Everyone's trying to do their own kind of crimes, and Batman has to go out and stop them all before he stops his career as Batman. It's like the final hurrah. And it makes sense that all the villains would be doing their own thing, because they all have their own agendas.
Right.
That would make sense if this wasn't Arkham Knight, where they all decided to pool their money together to make this giant plan to stop Batman.
Right, exactly.
If that wasn't the context of the story, it would make sense. But with the context of the story that they're trying to present, to give reason for the Arkham Knight to be there, not Red Hood, and to give reason for the Batmobile to be justified, they've got this weird, mixed up, contradictory story here where they've got the enemies that are supposedly working together, but they aren't actually working together.
I thought Penguin's going to have a much bigger role because they mentioned him a lot. Like, Penguin's been the one supplying all these weapons and doing all that thing. I thought he and the Arkham Knight were going to be, or he and Scarecrow were going to be like,
Speaking of the money thing, there's a little bit of a plot twist in regards to that, and it'll be the last thing I have to say.
Let's wrap it up soon, by the way.
End. Yep, last thing. So the story they present is that all the villains are pooling together their money, but there's a little bit of dialogue that you can hear, supposedly, according to a bunch of people online, that they saw, like, the militia people talking, and they're like, hey, I don't think I was supposed to see this, but I saw papers saying Lex Luthor was responsible for our army.
I saw that too.
Oh.
And then there's all these other great hints towards a greater universe in this one. Even more than Queen Industries.
Like Lex Luthor wants Batman out of the way so he can take Gotham, so he paid for the Arkham Knight.
Right. And then Lex Luthor is also at this point running for president. And you could hear a bit of dialogue where they're like, do we really want a billionaire geek, run in office? And they're like, well, he's got a lot of policies against superhumans.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Queen Industries.
Queen Industries, there's
the Black Canary Club. There's also some guys like, that reminds me of a vigilante that got beat up my last crew.
Let's have Justice League the game, and let's call it the Arkham League.
Yeah, and there's another part where like the crooks are like breaking into something, and they're like, "Man, Batman giant plants toxin. The only thing that would make this weirder is that freak from
Freak from Metropolis.
Metropolis flying in."
There's never was just like, man, I would never work in Keystone City. At least I can see Batman coming.
Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of world building, which is really cool.
Well,
if only there was a bit more of that.
Won't
I'm
be
sure there'll be
seeing
DLC.
Batman coming anymore after his mansion exploded.
I mean,
Oh, dang it.
Oh, yeah, the ending.
oh, we need to talk about that.
We
Okay,
forgot
we
the
gotta
ending.
talk about that.
We can't end yet. Oh, no.
All right, well,
right.
You know, the ending was a thing. It was exactly what I figured it was going to be, a Dark Knight Rises-esque thing.
I was really kind of hoping, honestly, that like after this you would get to play. A cutscene would be Batman comes up, it's Nightwing, and Nightwing's in the Batman costume. He's like, "All right, let's do this," and then all your dialogue is Nightwing's
Well,
dialogue.
it's like, I wish I could speak about the full ending, but you two don't know it.
No, I saw the real the full.
I don't know it. I only saw the incomplete ending that you told me about, which involved the whole mansion blowing up, and then that was the end of it. I don't know anything about the extended ending,
The extended
which
ending is-
happens when
Do
you 100% the game for
Yeah,
audience.
do you care if we spoil it? Because I kind of want to talk about it.
If you don't want to hear it, you can just turn your volume down for a second.
Well, we gotta end this.
Yeah.
We're running a bit long, so
Sigh.
But it's
Oh, come on, we got to talk about it though. We have to at least mention it. We really do.
I did mention it. The mansion
no,
blew up.
Listen,
It's
That's
an
not the
ending.
ending.
That's not the ending.
That's
His
not the
man-
ending.
that's not the ending.
The incomplete ending, I didn't really like all that much. I'll be honest. The complete ending
No, my.
was interesting.
Nightfall, man. Nightfall.
Okay, yeah, I love that. It's called the Nightfall Protocol.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that was great. Did you guys do?
It's more than just what it's called. That's literally the ending. Nightfall.
but yeah.
The Nightfall Batman.
Did you guys like do Azrael? Did you have him kill Batman or
Yes.
like break his sword?
Oh, I broke the sword.
I
I
had him
had
kill
to break
Batman.
the sword.
Anyway, no. Okay, so fine. We'll just skip the discussion, I guess. But I really want to mention that there's a rumor going around that it's kind of assumed, that Batman faked his death, right? The mansion blowing up was.
That is
Yeah.
the implication, yes.
No, Batman committed suicide. That's exactly.
That's,
Well-
I guess, the proper
well-
implication.
Well, there is a rumor going around that that's not the case.
Oh.
Because if you look in the crowd, so context of this in Arkham City, there was a thing, an Easter egg kind of included that wasn't found until like last year,
I remember.
like 2 years after it was released. It was with Calendar Man. You can talk to Calendar Man, and he kind of just rambles on and does random stuff. But if you set the time of your system, be it PC or Xbox, whatever, back to like a certain date in 2004, and you talk to Calendar Man, he starts telling you some weird cryptic things, and he's like, "I was there at the beginning, and I will be there at the end." When you play Arkham Origins, Calendar Man is there. He's being incarcerated into Blackgate as on the first night of Batman's career.
Huh.
If you look in the ending of Arkham Knight in the crowd as the mansion is exploding, Calendar Man is there.
Dude.
Whoa.
What?
That's great.
And there are some rumors that he is the one that caused the explosion of the manor.
Oh my god.
That would certainly be a twist. What
Whoa.
a twist.
So, I just felt like briefly mentioning that. We can go ahead and wrap up, but
Alright.
Alright.
Oh yeah. With that said,
Great ending. And for all its faults, it was a good game.
Very
I
good
thoroughly
game.
enjoyed it. But
If
it
they,
did have
if
some
they had
flaws.
made Jason Todd a plot point in Arkham City, I feel like Arkham Knight would be a lot stronger, honestly.
Yeah.
it would have.
yeah, the story
But
in this
anyway.
does come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The only thing that's kind of relevant is the whole thing with Joker, because that is pretty much a continuation from what happened in Arkham City. But that's about
Quite
it.
right.
Right.
It was a fitting end to the trilogy. Now, wrap it up then.
All right. Well, this has been fun. Thank you all for watching TTV Talks. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe. Go on the message board so you can talk about stuff at board.ttv.com. Board.ttvpodcast.com. That's right. Yeah.
If you're hearing this on YouTube, there's another episode of TTV Talks on Vessel, but you have to be subscribed to us in order to see it.
Yeah.
We have t-shirts out now. You can check those out on the message boards. There's also Audible, audibletrial.com/TTV. You can help us get money.
You got
Is that
all
it?
sorts of stuff. I
And
think
if you
so.
like plugs where there's like all this stuff, we can do a plug for each of our series.
It's
Oh
alright.
yeah, so
I feel
then
like
there's
it's
Mock Spotlight, Autopsy.
Yeah.
Alright, that's enough.
Yeah.
I'm Venom.
I'm Barteran.
I'm messing it.
alright. And I'm Kahi.
And goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I'm Batman.